It's us. Yeah. Oh, hang on. We haven't done that. I did this last week. Hang on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Much more professional, Ray. How are you, my friend?
Oh,
How are you?
I'm doing great. Trying not to watch all the madness on TV.
Don't do it, mate.
Yep.
Don't do it. I watched a bit earlier, and yeah, that was the best word for it. I thought, I can't be doing with it now.
Yeah.
He said, she said, I said, we said. I mean, let's call the whole thing off.
Exactly.
Yeah! How are you, mate? Have you shaken the holidays out? Have you dusted them down?
I'm done. I'm looking at 2021. Just some setting goals, and just I'm trying to get that year behind me. Get it behind me.
I see your nemesis, your arch nemesis, young Anthony, is in the chat.
Oh no! Good
Bless
Lord,
his
you behave
socks.
yourself. Behave yourself.
He's a good man, Anthony. He's got a good heart. Bless him.
He loves your premieres and your shows, Rokks. He loves your shows.
I know, he's left some really nice comments, and you know what it's like, Ray. It really lifts you, mate, doesn't it? When people say nice things. It does. It makes you kind of, oh God, it's good. It was worth it in the end.
Yes, indeed, my friend.
So it's much appreciated. And we've got Lee here. Now, I sent Lee a message just now. I said, Lee, I've got something to tell you. And he went, I'm streaming, Rokk. Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, he was streaming some trials, man. I got to go back. That's part of my backlog. I got to go back and play some of that.
Oh, Stadia Dad does some great stuff. He's been doing a lot of Red Dead Redemption, which is good fun. Happy Cloud Gamer, our friend, the Viking, as he says. He is indeed. He's from Norway, Norvège. So he is from the land of the Vikings. What was that film? The Vikings. It was Anthony, what was he called? Big actor, Tony. Anthony. Come on, and the guy with one eye.
I know who you're talking about.
He played. He was in. Anyway, him. So stars with me to go on, mate. Stars with me to go on. And Cloud Gamer 201. How are you, my friend? Thank you very much for popping in. Zero. Good to see you, buddy. Sounds a Stadia. We're honoured.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Good guys. I love
Great
guys.
Fantastic show. Really love having them on and love being on. So Antonio. No, it wasn't Antonio. It was Tony. His daughter was in A Fish Called Wanda.
Yes. Ooh, that was a good.
Remember?
That was a good movie. I remember that.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
She's very nice, if I remember rightly. But what the heck? Let's move on. Anyway, welcome to Stadia Rokks. It's Wednesday night. I had a little chuckle to myself earlier, Ray, when I was putting the tweet together to promote the show, and I was saying about come over to and spend some time with those two lovable scamps.
I saw that. I actually retweeted that, and I said, "Wait a minute, scamps."
I'd love to. Do you know? I think it's in English. Is it not a word that you guys use? Scamps.
No.
So
when I think of scamps out here, we got shrimp, scampi.
Scampi. Yeah, no, we have scampi. We have scampi. Right. Okay. So yeah, it's not a phrase that you probably nobody's heard it since the 60s, to be fair. But it's like a scamp is just a bit of an old rogue, just a little cheeky chappy, as they say in London town. So a couple of lovable old scamps that we are, cheeky chappies and rogues. So as you know, guys, this is the place for just our little midweek reflection on Stadia, a bit of a chuckle, have a look at the things we've done and played and stuff. As always, before we begin, please, big thank you to my brothers, and I'd love to have some sisters as well, by the way, if any of you ladies want to join Team Rokk. So we've got Jack, Sean, Lee, Ray, Brandon, Kumnar, Avery, Dan, Lloyd, Adam, Eddie, Ruben, Key, Kev, Clive, Dominic, goes on, Roosevelt, Christopher, Lee, Mamba Man 45, Sammy, Consignio, and Stadia Vet Gaming. You is the men. Thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So, what should we do? Should we get on with the news, Ray?
Yes.
Should we do it? Should we? Shall I find the right thing?
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
get on with it, Rokk. Okay, here we go. So it's coming.
The latest news from Stadia.
Latest news from Stadia. I know that guy. His voice is very familiar. So, first up on the old news. I actually haven't got any of these as comments, as captions. Yes, I have. Here we go. This one. Scott Pilgrim comes to Stadia after 10 years. When I was flicking around doing my research, as one does, I didn't realize, Ray, that there's even a film that came out about 10 years ago.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, it's on I think it's on Netflix, man. You should check it out.
Yeah, but I mean, like a live action thing. I know nothing about Scott Pilgrim at all. I mean, it's not, it kind of passed me by. I'm assuming it was like a Sega or a Nintendo game or something along those lines.
Dude, I was a Scott Pilgrim, man. There was a girl that I dated, I think I was in high school and my freshman year, and when I started dating her, she had not like all the boyfriends, but she had like a few boyfriends that wanted to come and fight me. And so
what, in real life?
Yeah.
What? She was your girlfriend and she wanted to see you beaten up.
Exactly. And
wow,
so
man, you came from a rough neighborhood.
and that's pretty much what Scott Pilgrim is. All these guys are trying to kick his butt.
So everybody in the chat, when I say everybody, I'm really referring to two people, Anthony and Dan from X2i. They're both, one says 360, one says PS3. So yeah, it's a little bit newer than I thought. I had a feeling that it was, I suppose, 10 years ago. It would have been around that kind of period, wouldn't it? I suppose. But anyway, it's coming here. It's going to be on Stadia as of tomorrow. The 14th. I shouldn't forget that date, Ray. It's forever engraved in my memory. It's a sad day, the 14th for me, January the 14th. And one that we should all commemorate, to be fair, I think, in memory of the fact that that's when I was born.
Oh my God! Happy birthday!
Not yet, mate. Tomorrow. Let me have at least one more year, one more day of this age, please.
Chat, you know what to do. You know what to do, chat.
No, you don't want to be doing nothing, chat. You just let this poor old sausage forget how old he is for a day. That's all I ask. I don't need to be reminded. But anyway, so Stadia decided to give me a bit of an early birthday present, and this comes out tomorrow. Scott Pilgrim, which is it's kind of, what is it, side-scrolling 8-bitty type of malarkey.
For all you old cats out there, if you played Streets of Rage, Bad Dudes, Double Dragon, River City, something, it's just a scrolling platform beat 'em up, and you hit one guy, then you move over it and you beat up another guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
actually looks quite fun. Now it's not too badly priced either. $15, 15 euros, which is about, I don't know, 12 pounds, I think, UK-ish, somewhere around there. Ain't too bad. Do you think it could be a pro game in a month?
Yeah, and that's why I don't know. This is going to be one.
So hard, mate, isn't it? Oh, Kumnar, bless you, my friend. He's giving me a little £2 birthday present.
Thank you,
sweetheart. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's and also Lee. Thank you for your birthday cakes there. Much appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
Young Daz, thank you very much indeed. Right, that's it. I don't want no more birthday shenanigan talking. That's it now. Boxed out of the way. This is always the problem, isn't it? When we get these games at that kind of price, it's almost a surefire bet that it's going to be a pro game at some point.
You know it is. But the thing about it is some people don't want to wait, and they just say, and they got the money. Hey, go for it and do it. Yeah. Some people like, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Well, I'm not going to do it because it's not my kind of game, but it does look good, and I'm sure that
you know what, right? I'm probably going to get it. I'm going to get it.
I think you. Yeah, I mean, how many have you got now? 119, 120 games.
This will make 120. This will be my 120. Yeah.
Somebody popped up on Stadia messages. I don't know if you get this. I get these really random people popping up from nowhere. They haven't a clue who I am. And this guy popped up earlier and he said, "How many games have you got?" I said, I don't know, mate. About 50. "How long have you been playing?" I said, "What? Why are you asking me these questions?" "Are you in Italy?" "No." So I get some weird ones. I really do.
Well, because he probably wants to know the games that you have, so he could probably go online and play with you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, he didn't know me, and I say him could have been, someone in the middle. Who knows? Hello, Charles. How are you, my friend? Thank you for joining us. Very kind. Very lovely to see you. So that was that one. That's the old Scott the Pilgrim. He's going to be somebody's father, isn't he? Little joke there, ladies and gentlemen. Little American joke. You know it. You know it. Next up. Oh, this is a big one, actually. Hang on. Before I do.
This is a huge one.
Yeah, before I go there, I've actually just remembered I've got to pop this in there, pop that little space in there, and it goes. And then that's this chap here, and that's that fella there. Here he is. Right. Okay. I can switch it now. Here we go. So. And this wasn't this, as you may or may not know, Ray, this week has been CES 21, which I think normally is held in Las Vegas, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Which it isn't, of course.
Usually I think they have it at the Staples Center where the Lakers play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it isn't, of course, this year, because of bless us all, Governor, the old virus. So it's a virtual setup, and there has been a slew of information from various places, but the one that caught the eyes and the minds of us Stadians was this one, because this very dapper young man who'll be back in a second. Announced that in the 2021 editions of the LG OLED televisions, and I think there's 3 in their kind of main catalog of OLEDs. There's the QLED, the OLED, and I think it's the Nano. I'm not 100, something like that. But he announced that in the new models, which always come out second half of the year, that's traditionally when they launch the big entertainment stuff, TVs, it's going to have Google Stadia baked in as an app on the WebOS screen. Massive news, mate. Massive news.
Huge news.
Huge. There he is. Look at him, young fella. He's got a lovely cardi on and everything. Yeah, no, it is. It's huge because this is the first time that we will be able to play on a television without a CCU or any other dongle or a Google TV outfit, and it's kind of us coming to the mainstream. It's Stadia coming to the mainstream.
I'm mad. Me and Mark, we just got this TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
got to tell you, I do have an LG. I've got an LG C8, so it's a couple of years old, but it is the best television I have ever owned, bar anything. And it's just they're stunning, the OLEDs. I mean, just absolutely amazing. But they've made a load of refinements to the sets to make them very game focused. So kind of minimizing on lag and stuff, and the vert sync is built in and all that kind of malarkey. So actually it's about the right time. Again, we talked about it in the past. It's all this kind of convergence thing, the broadband, everything had to be just right for Stadia to really take off. And now I think we're getting there with TVs as well. So this is going to be something else. Literally fire it up, go straight to your Stadia button, boom, and you're in your game. No CCUs, no keyboards, PCs, nothing. You can only imagine how many people are going to be playing once these things proliferate. I think that's the word, proliferate. That's an even better word.
It's a better word.
Yeah.
It's a better word.
Prolificate's getting a bit pornographic for my days.
It's huge. It's huge news, man, because it's like you don't have to go out and go buy a $500 console.
No, and I know Nvidia had a big thing as well, but that didn't have a great deal to do with Stadia, to be fair. This did, and this is the key thing. So there was talk as well of GeForce Now coming to the same television. Now, there's no reason to assume that it won't, except that fella that we saw just now, I think his name was Tom Ellis, He later retracted that statement and said, no, we've got no plans for GeForce Now to be hard baked into our WebOS interface. So I don't know whether that was here he is. I don't know whether that was a slip of the tongue at some point, or whether somebody just made an assumption that, well, if Stadia is coming on there, I would expect GeForce Now as well. But of course, Stadia is optimized for this kind of stuff.
It's beautiful, and it just lets you know that we're not going anywhere.
No, absolutely not. No.
No, we're not.
And it won't, it's bound to appear in other places. If they've managed to create an Android app that works for televisions at the quality and the speed that they require, and they're perfectionists wanting to get the quality right. If they've achieved that for LG, they've achieved it for any television that's running an Android interface or the Google TV or whatever. So I'm absolutely convinced we'll see a ton of them. Maybe not this year. I think they're going with LG exclusively, my guess, for this year. But they also said that they will be rolling it out for the older LGs, and by that I'm only talking a year. I've got one that's 2 years old, so I've got no chance. But they've said that the 2020 models, which are running WebOS 5.0, will also have their version of the app. I can only assume it probably won't be as good, because otherwise they'd have run it at the same time. Having said that, putting it on the latest ones is also a bonus, because I would want to go out and buy the new set, wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? If I'm looking for a new TV, why would I buy one a year old to get Stadia when I've got to buy a brand new one to get it?
But another beautiful thing is also all it takes is just adding blades and upgrading. And man, and just look how beautiful Cyberpunk plays, and how it's gonna play on the TV and other games. Immortal. It's just, man, this is huge. This is huge news.
No, it is. It is absolutely amazing. So very excited about that. So that was all good. And then we had another big old bit of news today, which truthfully, I suppose you could argue didn't have a lot to do with Stadia, although I twisted it so that it did. And that was that Ubisoft announced a deal with Lucasfilm Arts, I think it is, to let me just trying to change this thing. Too many things to do. Brain can't handle it. I'm getting too old. It's my birthday tomorrow. Somebody put me out of my misery. Here it is. I found it, Ray. Yes. So Ubisoft have landed an amazing deal with Lucasfilm. Now, interestingly, and you may or may not remember this, Ray, but when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they sacked 150 of the staff and put the development out. They just put it out of house. So, they had a minimum. Lucasfilm was gutted, both if you worked there and as a company. And they gave it all to EA, essentially. So all their Star Wars development, a lot of their development was put out to different studios. And interestingly enough, Ubisoft have done a number of Disney games for Lucasfilm, and right now they've been working on this for 4 years, and that's the game of the film Avatar, which I'm sure you know that there's a sequel coming at some point. So they're not strangers to Lucasfilm or to Disney at all, but this is the first time that a Star Wars game has gone anywhere other than EA. And they only had a 10-year contract with EA anyway. Right. So, if it certainly by the time this game will be ready, and let's be frank about this, it won't be this year, the 10 years will be up with EA. So I'm sure they're hedging their bets. They're essentially saying, no, we've got a contract with you, and it will run for 10 years. Nobody else will be releasing any games in that time frame, but we need to have games ready for when it ends. So that's what they're kind of doing here. Now, why is this of any interest whatsoever? We're all Star Wars fans, there's that, but it's of interest because it's Ubisoft. And what have Ubisoft been doing recently? Every new game has gone to Ubisoft Plus, and we've got that on Stadia. And there's no reason to assume this won't come out day and date on Stadia as well as part of Ubisoft Plus. So I think it's massive news on that basis. It's going to be, and if you watch Rokk Around the Clock earlier, I went into this in a little bit of detail. But what we know with any game as a service is you've got to keep your audience retained. And you do that by creating games that are massive, that they don't want to go away because they haven't finished it yet. Month after month. And if you've got a big open world, massive multiplayer game like the one that's being threatened here with it's Star Wars. I mean, it's Mandalorian, it's Chewbacca, it's the whole it's Luke Skywalker, it's Darth Vader. You ain't going nowhere. And that's the plan. So this is the kind of thing that Ubisoft have been looking for anyway. So I think this is perfect. Clive, how are you, my friend? Thank you for joining us on Facebook, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but we simulcast to Facebook and Twitch. But I get 0.03 people watching us on Twitch. So there's a leg. There's a leg somewhere.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come.
There's a leg somewhere going, oh, good show, this. Good show. So that's why it's of interest, Ray, because it's going to come to Ubisoft Plus. There's no question of that. And we're going to get it. And by then, of course, it will have moved out from America and it'll be everywhere. So it's so exciting. I'm so excited about this.
You are excited. One of my favorite game publishers is Ubisoft. I mean, just look at the Division 2 and look at the Far Cry's and the Tom Clancy's, the Siege and Rainbow Six and all those. Ubisoft, I mean, they have a wonderful staff that is detailed and quality. And so I am extreme open world. I am just... I was like jumping up for joy because I love Ubisoft and I love Star Wars.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Love Star Wars. So I think this is great. I can't wait. And book this. I think they're going to do a better job than EA, because remember when EA did come out, they had a lot of issues with the bugs. The loot, you guys remember the loot boxes and
big controversy.
Yeah. So, I think Ubisoft is going to do a hell of a job. I can't wait. This is huge. An open world, and with the success of the new show and all the younger generation and the older generations, it's just it's going to be great. My son, he's a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm excited. And I can just remember back in the late 70s playing with my Star Wars, and look where it's gone, playing in the backyard, with my Darth Vader, and look, you got the channel, you got the movies, and now you got the huge video game merge, but like you said, anytime there's a major merge, of course people have to they got to get axed. That's just it's sad, but that's the business. But but we're gonna get some good games. We're gonna get some really good games.
It's gonna be. I mean, we got a Team Rock show in there, Ray. It's very nice, but it's got nothing to do with Star Wars or Stadia. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that, chappy. Yeah, no, I agree. It is a phenomenal opportunity. I genuinely do think that it will come to Stadia day and date. I think it will be part of Ubisoft Plus. I think that's the real key here. But of course, and again, I mentioned this in that aforementioned Rokk Around the Clock, we know that Stadia are working on their big open world MMO as well. So, I think that's the thing to look forward to over the next 3 years. It's going to be, something like this game, Star Wars Galaxy or whatever they call it, remastered, as Martin says, and the Stadia game, which will be a similar kind of genre, because they need to lock us into our subscriptions. I cancelled my Ubisoft Plus out of disgust, but then I resubscribed, and now I've got Watch Dogs Legion coming on PS5 as well. I've got it coming from all angles.
Well, the PC Ubisoft Plus has more games. A lot of games on the PC.
A lot more.
So I mean, I was playing some Ghost Recon, Thunder Future Soldier, which was like we're talking 2012, and it played great on my PC, and it kind of made me reminisce about playing with my old mates and just play. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge.
It is, and that's the key. It's all about games as a service, GAS, which is a horrible acronym, but that's what it is. So it's whatever can be done to lock us in and feel happy to be part of the environment, the ecosystem they've created. And so it needs to be those kinds of games, they've said it's going to be a story driven, which is interesting. So it's not just going to be a place that you go with lots of stuff going on. There's going to be a story in there. So, imagine it kind of Valhalla, but never ending. So you've always got raids to do with your friends and new areas to open up and stuff.
We need some MMOs, man, on Stadia. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
I agree. No, it's going to be something else. Right. I was hoping we'd see a wall of chat down the right-hand side there, Ray. And there is a wall of chat, but it ain't showing up in that lovely little chat feature, which I have to say is beta. But I'm going to get rid of it again. It's the second week in a row of giving it a go. And it's let me down. What is it with you guys? Right, it's gone. Shall we move on to the next feature, Ray?
Yes.
Shall we? Let's hang on. I've got to get it keyed up. There's only me and myself here as a production, so not quite what it says what it is. I shall cue the graphic. Cue the graphic, Rokk. I'll do it right now.
What's up, Rokk?
It goes on forever, that flipping rabbit. I keep meaning to edit and can kill it off. But okay, right. I'll tell you what's up this week, Ray. I had nothing to say at all, and then I was doing some research for Rokk Around the Clock, and I came across this really, really good article on Kotaku about cyberpunk, which, as you know, it's a little bit of a thorny subject. We tend to touch upon it from time to time. But this was fascinating because what they had done is they'd sort of broken down the events from kind of launch forward.
And there's a lot of events.
you just don't appreciate what's happened in a relatively tiny time frame. So I thought we'd have a quick look at this in a bit more detail because it is actually it does bear a little look. Now, as you know, I've been on the fence slightly against cyberpunk. And that's really partly my fault because I've struggled to fully get my head around the game. And I play it a lot. I've played it for I don't know, an hour or two today. I was playing it this evening. I really, really, really want to like this game, and I watch people like yourself and Jeremy Ashes. Hi Ashes, who is in the chat there. How are you, my friend? Lovely to see you. Thank you for popping in. I think I said hello in the wrong one. There we go. And so many people love this game, and I'm desperate to like it. But it was fascinating to read what Kotaku say. So let's just quickly run through some of this stuff. So okay, this is quite interesting. So the reviews for the game came out 10th of December, but, and this is the thing, they were all PC. They weren't given codes to test it on consoles or to test it on Stadia or anywhere other than PCs. And we know now that the game was 100% optimized for PC. There's no question of that. It was clearly designed from day one to be at its best on a PC, which is fine. That happens a lot. It happens for games that we play on Stadia. We're lucky because QLock, who did the port for Stadia, did an amazing job. They did a brilliant job. We're so lucky that they did. But they're saying here, so they say, right, okay, after spending 30 hours with the RPG, a lot of the reviewers felt that it wasn't really setting the big standards, the big sort of storytelling standards, the way that The Witcher 3 had. So, already the reviews were kind of going, we really want to like it. We really, really, really want to like it, but it's not quite there. Then it says here, the same day, an editor at the Game Informer reported suffering. I didn't even know this, Ray. Did you know this? Reported having a seizure.
Yeah.
During her time with the game.
Yeah.
She had a fit, a major seizure and several smaller seizures. And then CD Projekt Red came out and said, well, we've mentioned in the EULA, the End User License Agreement, the EULA, which is the terms and conditions that we all sign when we any software, any commercial software.
We hit the X button to get to the game.
Nobody reads it, right? Nobody reads it.
Right.
So they buried into the EULA and I think it's probably, to be fair to them, it's a standard line. You know, if your potential is to succumb to anything bright lights and stuff, don't play the game. And let's face it, it's all about bright lights. So, you know, they had to move that. So they moved it forward into the intro to suggest that there could be an issue. And then on December the 8th, let me see, was it December the 8th? It was in a tweet. It was in a tweet. And then later, December the 11th, they remedied those issues. Now that you know, I'm not going to, that's just the way it goes. And that's why you have patches. That's fine. But I think the thing here, the tell here, was how instantly they sort of tried to walk away from the responsibility. And this is the bit that worries me about CD Projekt Red. So shuffling on down, they got the usual thing, you know, some toxic fans are having a go. Well, that happens in the game industry. You know, it's a shame, but hey, it's the world we live in right now, right?
Right.
And then it broke records. I mean, it came out on PC. It surpassed 1 million concurrent players on its first night. I mean, it broke all records. Steam's biggest game, you know, crashed Steam. Twitch, 1 million viewers on Twitch. Never seen anything like it. Of course, you know, they announced to their investors, this is amazing. Total sales have exceeded, you know, pre-orders have covered our cost of development and marketing. And it was all, you know, woohoo, this is amazing. And then, of course, it started to leak that on console, it was a dog with fleas, as they say in Wall Street. So it came out on, obviously, if you played it on a PS4 or on an Xbox One, you were so out of luck. And it's at this point that we're starting to think, hang on a minute. So they wouldn't let anybody test it on a console before launch. You know, they've kept very quiet about this. What's going on? And you can sort of feel the sheen, the mask being lifted.
Sneaky. They were sneaky.
It was sneaky.
That's what that was. They knew. They knew.
And it's such a shame because, I mean, they had an impeccable record. I know there were some issues, all of which when it launched. I know that. And I know they had to work on it and they fixed it. But, you know, they were the gamer's developer of choice. You know, everybody said, I remember my friend Philip, my lovely Ghanaian friend, saying to me, this is CD Projekt Red ad. Rokk, that's me ad. This is CD Projekt Red. The stuff they do is beyond doubt. It's amazing. It's going to be a fantastic game. So there was no question of it. And it is a good game. But these are the kind of things that, and I'll tell you in a minute why this has got under my skin, Ray. So it's a shuffle on a tad here. Some of Cyberpunk's day one bugs were extremely entertaining. True. Despite all of this, the game ran. I love this. This is Kotaku, ladies and gentlemen. Despite all of this, the game ran surprisingly well on Stadia. The game had better graphics and fewer crashes than on some consoles, with Digital Foundry eventually suggesting the Stadia version of Cyberpunk was nearly on par with the Xbox Series X version. Google even had to stop its promotion, giving away Stadia Founders Editions. Actually, they weren't Kotaku, they were Premier Editions, mate. But, you know, we'll forgive you that one. With copies of the game because it ran out. It's true. It's true. I mean, we've got a major slice of the calendar. We're in the history of this game, aren't we now? For good or for bad.
Right.
Stadia has literally cemented itself into the lore, the legend of Cyberpunk. So, and this was interesting as well. So it was getting, the reviews were not great. It was getting some poor reviews. And apparently they tied their bonus schemes with their staff to the reviews. So they had to kind of revise how that was going down. Now, this is when it starts to get really nasty. So players then began getting refunds for the game. And we had the whole letter from them saying, oh, we're really sorry, but, stick with it. It's going to be cool. Next thing, of course, they apologized profusely about the console version. It's taking them days. Don't forget, this is days and days after. The whole refund situation was a mess. They said, oh, you've got to go to Sony. Sony was saying, no, you've got to go to them. So then Sony took it off. They just took it down, right? That's it. You can't buy it anymore. It's not going to be available for download. And if you want your money back, there's no questions asked. I mean, this was an absolute PR disaster. Absolute PR disaster. Now, this guy's come out and said, because the key thing here is there's an investor call, and the studio was asked to explain why it had kept the terrible console version hidden from the public here. And it says, we definitely did not spend enough time looking at the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One performance, Vice President Michael Novakovsky said during the call. With billionaire co-CEO Marcin Iwiński claiming the console version wasn't shown because the studio was working on it right up until release day. It says here, of course, this was contrary to everything that CD Projekt Red had said about the game in the years and months up to launch. They'd said they'd been working on console versions and they looked amazing. It was going to be the best game you've ever seen. It's going to be as good as the PC. It's going to be the experience, the best game you've ever played in your life. And it wasn't the case. It so wasn't the case. There's all stuff about dildos and things we don't want to go into. And as I say, it came off the store. Now, look, I could go on forever, but we've got other stuff we want. I'll tell you why this has got under my skin, Ray. It feels to me that globally, the thing that has been allowed to happen, and it's permeated everything. It's permeated our media. It's permeated our gaming. It's permeated our politics. And that is the acceptance that lying is okay. Because it is not okay. When you are selling things to people that have no opportunity to test that thing until they get it, don't say anything, but definitely do not lie. And this is what sticks in my throat. Now, the game isn't bad. It's not bad. As I said, I'm playing it every day. I'm desperate to love it. And some people do. But they lied. They barefaced lied. And the reason that they lied is because that is the culture we live in, where people feel it's okay to lie because everybody else does. And that has to stop. And it has to stop when there are young people spending money that they have, precious little of. Even older people who are spending money that they have precious little of on a game that was not cheap. This was a full AAA title. We all paid full price for it, even if we got $10 less in different places. And then to find out that it doesn't. Imagine how many kids got a brand new PS4 Pro for Christmas. An end of life, but nonetheless new PS4 Pro with Cyberpunk, and it didn't work. I mean, how many Christmases were ruined? And that's not good. And Cyberpunk need to do something about that. Now, I know we had, many years ago, actually a game that I love, which was, I've forgotten what it's called now, the one that came out and it wasn't that good. And it was the British guys. What was it called, Ray? Help me here. No Man's Sky. All right. Yes, so No Man's Sky had a similar thing. And, I'm prepared to suggest that it was the exuberance of a young developer who wanted to tell the world that he had an amazing game and he allowed his mouth to run off. To be fair, they have spent the last 5 years spending every penny of profit in making that game good. And it is now a stunning game. And, they showed regret day one. I'm still not getting from CD Projekt Red that they feel any remorse. In fact, they're running around trying to avoid getting their asses sued, which is not good for anybody.
But it rocked. This also taught me a lesson not to get caught up in the hype. And everybody got caught up in the hype. Yeah. The trailers, the books, the toys, the action figures. And I said, it taught me a lesson. Before I ever pre-order something, I really need to see the actual video of the game and see how it works. But I mean, I'm happy with my Stadia version, but my cousin got the PS4 and he says, dude, Keanu Reeves' face is a blur. You can't play the game. The game cuts off. So yeah, just, you're right. They got to be honest. They got to be honest, but someone's got to go after them though.
It's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see CD Projekt Red broken up or to disappear or lose money or go bust or anything else. I think it's a hotbed of talent. I think they have their best stuff yet to come. I think this is an indication of quality at a level, but they failed in too many areas, and then they cover it up with lies, and that's the part. That's the bit. I want to see that gone. I don't want us. I want 2021 to be the year of truth. I want people to be honest. I mean, we heard today that, for example, Hogwarts Legacy, I think it's called, has been put back another year. I think this is a sign. I think studios are saying, we can't just turn on CAC.
They're pushing Outriders? And I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I know. But I'd rather they did that, mate. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you rather they put it back 6 months?
But in all fairness, though, it wasn't the developers. You have to understand, CD Projekt Red is a huge company. So you have what is called the developers, you got the managers, and then you have the investors. And I think the developers were trying to tell them, look, we're not done. I don't care. We got investors that are looking for, they're looking for their money. So I don't give a damn. Put it out. Do whatever you got to do. Put it out. So there's a lot of, you're right, there are a lot of stakeholders, we call them, people that have all got a little stake in the way it works, but they definitely pulled some hype. And I think it's a hard one. You've got a dodgy console version. What do? Do you say, I'm sorry, investors, I'm sorry, shareholders, I'm sorry, staff, but we're going to put it back another year? No, of course not. But they could have said, we're not happy with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One versions, so we're not putting them out for 6 months. And if you want a refund, that's absolutely fine. We get it. We understand that. If you want to stick your money, leave your money where it is, we'll give you some extra content or something as a thank you. But we're not happy. We've got a quality threshold, and we've not reached it for those titles, and we don't want to upset people. They could have done that 2 months before launch. They knew it wasn't ready. They knew it wouldn't be ready. And that's the point. But anyway, listen, let's rant over. That was what was up, Rokk. The first time I've had anything of any meat to say for a while. Speaking of meat, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me when I worked at a burger place. I won't name the place. And I was like, sir, the burgers are not ready. They're raw. They're undercooked. Put them out. Just put them out. Put the burgers out and sell them. Who cares? Don't eat them. They won't know.
Damn the pundits.
Exactly.
I know. It's not good. It's not big. It's not clever. But it's the way it is. Oh, mate, after all that, I need some salvation. I need some love. I need some of this. Give me some soul, brother.
Not a problem. Well, on today's Ray Praise, I want to praise a very special friend of mine. His name is Callum from XB Games. And he was very nice enough to invite me, Rokk, Clive, and William to his XB Games award show, where we got to see, he put out categories where people could vote on the games, and then myself, Clive, and William, and Rokk, we got to talk about what we thought was the game that should have won, which 90% of the time I said Cyberpunk. But I had a great show. Love listening to Clive. Clive is so smart, so brilliant. Love listening to Clive. Love listening to William. Love listening to Rokk. And it was just an excellent show. There we go. Yeah.
There we are. Look at us. Look.
Yeah.
Motley looking crew. It was a great fun. It was a great fun show, and I think this was the first. I think this was the first one, wasn't it, from Callum?
Yeah,
His first ever show. He did a great job.
And if you guys don't know, Callum wrote reviews for Stadia Source. He also reviewed for other game magazines, and he just did it. I just posted a review on my Twitter page where he's talking about an Oculus game, and so. But after this show, Rokk, he sent me a DM and he's like, "Hey, how would you like to help me interview somebody? Since you like cyberpunk so much, I'm going to be interviewing Jackie from Cyberpunk." You mean Jackie Wells? And he's like, "Yeah, the voice actor, Jason Hightower." And I was like, okay. And so we did a sound check. We met him. He was just an extremely nice guy. He even did some of the voices. He's done voices for Ghost Recon Wildlands. He was Captain Yeho, Wrecking Ralph Breaking the Internet. He did voices for that. Resident Evil, Red Dead Redemption. He's also wrote and produced shows as well. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy. So we're actually gonna officially interview him on Saturday. Yeah. But I just wanted to praise Callum and XP Games for their wonderful award show. Thank you for having us.
It was good fun. He's one to watch. Is young Callum. I was very impressed.
He's brilliant, very brilliant, and just talking to him. You know, we just had a great time talking about games and stuff and the business.
So young Jason Hightower, aka Jackie from Cyberpunk, who let's be honest, he's not in it long enough, is he? Let's be honest.
What's that again?
Jackie is not in it long enough, is he?
Of course not. He gets shot, and he had to give his
spoilers, mate.
Oh my God! If you haven't played Cyberpunk now, then shame on you.
Yeah, fair point.
Shame on you.
Fair point.
But guess what, guys? I'm gonna throw something out. There's something called a DLC, and they can always bring them back with a chip.
Yeah, because it's all cyber and stuff, isn't it?
That's right.
They can rebuild him.
Wake up, samurai! We got a city to burn.
Yeah, that'll be good. So anyway, you're chatting to him on Saturday, this coming Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that a live show, Ray?
So let's see. If it's 9 in the morning my time, it's going to be 5
p.m. UK.
UK. So check it out. XP Games, folks. XP Games.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for that. A little bit of praise, Ray. It does my soul good to see this. 1 second.
Picture.
Wow. I love that. Right, let's listen. We've got to crack on because time is a kicking. Right up next, we've got one of these. Got me there. It is. Right, now then, Ray. This one is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you all know by now, the Rokk Review, the way it works is 5 questions that we pose on a game that is available on Google Stadia, of course. And we look at it from the perspective of a casual gamer. How quickly can you get into the game? Can you pick it up from where you left off? How easy is it to get to grips with? Is it rewarding to play? And is it good value? Now, this game, today's game, I've actually never played. So I'm not reviewing it. Ray is, and it is Valkyria 4 Chronicles. So, Ray, let's get that up. Here we are. Here's your Ray.
My God, look at that.
There is the man himself, the very fellow, playing Valkyria 4. So, Ray, question, how quickly can you get into this? What is this game anyway? What's it all about?
Okay, this game is a Japanese turn-based strategy game, and it's by Sega, and it's on Stadia. And what it basically is it's a strategy game where you get certain command points. So what you do is, before you even get into the action, there's a map, and you have to place your soldiers and your tanks and your artillery and everything on a map. So when you see the enemy, you got to put them up against the enemy or kind of, display them on the map. And then you're going to go into what is called your action points, where you get to actually go into battle. And so if you see the little brass little badges at the top, those are your kind of like your action points.
Okay.
So you can, but you only get so many, so you got to make it count. And so you have to put your soldiers in places where they're not going to get, you know, shot and killed. But what's cool I like about this is when you do get shot, somebody runs out, picks you up to take you away, to take you back to the medic.
Oh, wow.
So, and then if you need like a backup, you can get backup. You can get some, there's a cute little girl that comes on the field. She shoots off rockets. So if you need someone to help you, like if there's tanks and you need to be taken out, you can have a cute little girl come up behind you and she can shoot rockets. But there's also a gauge. So the gauge goes down as you move around. And when it's just like, you know, when you play BG3, Boulder Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, you only have so many action points, and then you got to turn it over to the enemy, and then it's the enemy's turn, which is called the enemy phase, to come back and come get you.
Gotcha. It's a lovely art style as well. It's almost like a hand illustrated watercolor.
Yeah, and so as you can see right there on the screen, I'm actually moving my characters, and they're going in. Yeah. You can crouching down and take cover behind rocks and barriers.
Love it. So, Ray, number one.
Yes.
How quickly can you get into the game?
I had to give it a 3, Rokk, because there's so many cutscenes, and more cutscenes. So I had to give it a 3.
So, and when you actually fire it up from nothing from the Stadia your games list, is it a relatively quick game to fire up, or does it take a while?
It's when you click on it, you're going to go through a lot of different scenes.
Okay.
A lot of
Okie dokie. So that was 3. Number 2. Can you pick it up? Can you pick up from where you left off?
Oh, the one thing about this game is that they have a wonderful saves. You can do multiple saves. So yeah, I gave it a 4 because I can save it and get right back where I need to be.
I do love the look of the game, Ray. It's a beautiful artwork.
It is. I'm a huge fan of Japanese anime games, and then I love Sega. And this is just the art. The illustrations on this game is beautiful, and especially watching the soldiers and the enemies move across the map.
Sweet. Number 3. There we go. How easy is it to get to grips with?
I gave it a 4. It's not that, honestly, it's not that hard. It's just basically what is it? You just click and move your guys around, and it's not that. I mean, it's really not that like there's no really learning curve. It's just using your action points and moving your player on a map, but making sure that you don't get open and get shot like this guy is.
So it's an. I mean, I've played a couple of games like this, but not for very long, I have to say, and I do tend to find they can be quite complicated. So a game like, say, Baldur's Gate 3, which is a turn-based game, isn't it?
Exactly.
But there's so much to learn, and so many different combinations and permutations and so on.
Totally opposite from that. Okay. Totally opposite from that.
That's cool. Question number 4: is it rewarding to play?
Is it rewarding to play? I gave it a 4. Okay. I gave it a 4 because you see the girl. That was the medic girl picking me up. I just got shot. I just got a rocket thrown at my head. But it was great because you got a tank to back you up, and the tank, the soldiers cannot take out the tank with their little machine guns. See the blue behind the tank? You have to hit that spot to blow up a tank. So outside, so you can use the tank as cover. Yep. Plus you get all kinds of weapons you can upgrade. There's different missiles, different guns that you can
is it multiplayer then, or are you just playing against the AI?
Right there I'm playing against the AI. But I think you can do multiplayer. I have to double check. Got to double check.
Oh, well, that could be fun. Question number 5. Is it good value?
I had to give it a 3.
Okay.
Because it is $49.90. It's $50. So right. I actually paid $50 for it, and I have to say, I can see it sometime going on sale, and probably going down to like $30 maybe. But
it's not a day and date though, is it, for Stadia? Has it been up for a little while? Or?
No, it's been on a Switch. It's been on the PS4. Okay. So it's been out for a while. It's not a very new game. It's not
that's interesting. But then it is Sega, and they have a certain cachet, don't they?
Yes,
people do like their Sega titles, so I can see that.
And then if you notice, most of the anime games on Stadia is very pricey. Very pricey.
Yeah, I think that was kind of my point. That because it's Sega, they seem to keep a certain price level. So what do we give? We give it 3 for 1, 4 for 2, 4 for 3, 4 for 4, and 3 for 5, and 18. That is 18, a grand total of 18. So not quite the yes, you must 100% buy it, but not a disaster either.
I think it's 3 years old. Happy Cloud Gamer. It does have there's a part 1, part 2, part 3. And this is part 4, so it's been out for there's other parts of it.
Right. Okay. But you've enjoyed it. That's the key thing. I know you've playing it a lot.
I love strategy, tactics, and stuff like that. I enjoy it. I just think though, $50 for an older game. Yeah, I think they could have came down on price. I probably $29.99, $30. I probably would have done that.
Makes sense. It does. I have to say though, it does look quite good fun. I'm not sure that I'd want to pay for my kind of game. I probably wouldn't give it enough time a day, but certainly I'd like to have a little dip in with that one and play for it. I might give it the 2 hours test and see what I think.
It's great. It's really, it's fun. I streamed it. Everybody kind of was enjoying it. They were telling me, hey, you're gonna get move over here, move over there. But it's fun. My favorite part though is when the guys up in the tower, you can shoot the rockets or throw your grenades up there and blow them to bits. Yeah.
So you get these. It looks like with some kind of castle map here.
Yes.
And once you've sort of beaten that section, do you go to a similar map, or is it?
You take the flag. So what I had to do here was, it's called camps. So there was about 3 camps. So once you get the flag, you've won, and you've taken over that, and you go to the next area. Kind of like getting the flag in Destiny. Take the flag, get the flag.
Capture the flag type of scenario. And are there different game types then, Ray, when you're? Or is it all the whole thing, a capture the area kind of thing?
You know what? I think this is all just the turn-based strategy, going through the story and stuff. I have to double check. I just played the campaign, but there is some other modes.
Okay.
There is other modes.
Okay. So it has promise, but 18's a good score, so that's all good.
Happy says $10 to $15 is.
Yeah, but he's an old skinflint, mate. It's worth more than that, Happy. Look at it. It's got to be a good $25 worth. But anyway, you've enjoyed it. That's the important thing. 18's not a bad score. Not a bad score at all. And if you're into turn-based games and Sega and anime, then it's bound to tick a few boxes in there somewhere. So that can't be bad, can it? So there you go. Well, thank you very much for that, my friend.
You're very welcome.
So that was the Rokk review there from Ray this week. The Ray review. I need to come up with a new graphic so that if it's just a Ray one, we can get my name out of it. So there you go. We're at the end of the show, Ray.
Yeah,
we've exhausted ourselves.
Perfect.
There's nothing else to say. So what are your plans for the rest of the week? Anything exciting?
Just advancing in Cyberpunk.
You've completed it. I mean, there's not much more to do, is there?
I'm level 41, 50 credit, and there's lots of things to do. I'm collecting. Do you know they have? You remember the Dukes of Hazzard, and they had the General Lee. It was the orange. charger. Well, they have a futuristic General Lee without the Confederate flag on top. They have a different
Sensitive.
flag. I know
too soon, Ray. Too soon.
I know they have a different flag on top. I actually got that car last night. I got event. So I'm buying up cars. So what I'm doing is I'm doing side jobs and I'm just buying the cars. And my cyberware, Rokk, I'm telling you, I can take out 5 guys without even shooting a bullet. I can scan and I can make them throw up. I can wipe out their memory in their brains and I can make them explode. And that's the quick hacks. Wow. It's an amazing game.
See, that's the thing, because as I say, I want to love this game. I genuinely do. I'm not going out of my way to not enjoy it. It just hasn't happened for me yet. But I was watching William Stadia Pro Gaming after your recommendation, I have to say, because you said, go and watch the video when he's kind of giving you tips and stuff. And I thought I will, because I really, really need to. And I watched, and it just like, 2 minutes in, I was like, okay, gorilla arms and that, and it's all about the hacking. And so I've now been doing little side missions just to get my money and my cred up, which I know you've been telling me to do, mate. It's just I'm getting old. It's my birthday tomorrow, so if you didn't know. So I've been doing it, and I'm gradually getting there. I'm avoiding the story. I'm just trying to get my gear up so that I can get to where everybody else has been, and enjoyment that I've been avoiding. It's just not been happening for me. So I'll get there. I just wish they would have did a little bit more with the character, changing the face. You really don't get to do too much. Some games you can really do a lot, and they all kind of, if you look at all the different characters, they still got the same face. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, there's still some issues in there. Yeah. I don't know. I suspect and I hope that they'll be continuing to develop it for some time. And,
they will.
And of course, that's the great thing about owning in on Stadia. We don't need to worry about that.
No,
evolve.
And they made a lot of money, folks. Don't think they did. They made a lot of money.
Yeah. They're not short of a few quid. Of course, we'll wait to see how much of that they've got to give back to their investors from the Class A lawsuit. But, that's a whole other bag of anchovies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Ray, we've got your Twitter on the screen. And do you want to just tell the lovely folk where they can find you if they're not aware of where they can find you?
Sure. I'm on YouTube, Ray Sherrod, Ray, and then SHERROD. And then just at Ray3473 on my Twitter page. I'm always posting what I'm doing next. I stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.
And you do an amazing job there.
Thank you.
I don't know if you spotted it, but I donated or did something this week on your Twitch as well. I got in there and subscribed, and it gives you some of my Prime money. So please go and watch Ray's amazing YouTube and Twitch content, guys, because he is absolutely one of the best. And this Saturday, of course, you're on with Callum and not only are you interviewing Jack from Cyberpunk, or Jackie, I should say, which is a wow moment. I mean, it is. I don't think people realize just what a massive coup that is. I mean, he's one of the big characters. But also, you're a permanent co-host for the show, aren't you?
Yes, I am. He asked me, "Hey, Ray, how would you like to?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna get me killed by Rokk, man." He's gonna sing Clive.
Am I not satisfying you, man?
But I told him, I love networking and working with people, especially chemistry. And so we had a good chat, and I just want to help him. And he's I'm meeting Jack. I got to meet Jackie.
You've met him already. Yeah. You've had a virtual high five. So there you go. So there's that's going to be something amazing. I shall be watching it. I can promise you that much. There's me at Stadia Rokks on Twitter. Obviously all the content here that you love. Rock around the clock every day. I'm hopeful I'll get one out tomorrow. Of course, it's that day, but there should be one out tomorrow if there's any news. That's been the fun, trying to find stuff to talk about. And then Friday night, Rockstars at Night, which I think this week is just Clive and I, and then Cloudburst on Saturday. So lots and lots of stuff to do, lots and lots for me and you.
Yes,
Oasis once said. Thank you very much as always, my good friend. As you know, I love our time together.
And
it's a wonderful thing.
Here. Same here as well.
Wonderful thing. Thank you, chat, for popping in and spending some time with us, with my friend. Us two lovable scamps. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And we will see you again, all of you again, next Wednesday. So say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Take